Awesome.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to GEG Amend's online training mini PD session. My name is Georgina Dean, and I am the GEG leader. And I'm super excited today to introduce our guest speaker who's joining us all the way from England in the United Kingdom, Darren. Hi, Darren. Welcome this evening.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We're so excited. Okay, I won't steal. Yes, I won't steal any of his thunder. So we're going to give him the show in just a second. But we'd like to welcome all of our viewers from around the world this evening. And if you'd like to go ahead and drop your name and the country that you're joining us from and the city in the YouTube chat, it would be really awesome to hear where everybody is joining us from today.
We're so excited. Okay.
Awesome. So we have Meredith joining us from Texas. Hi, Meredith, all the way from America. That's so cool. I think you guys are on an earlier time zone, right? Don't get me started with time zones, guys. You know I'm not doing so well with that this month. We also have Tamina joining us today from Amman in Jordan also. So welcome, Tamina. And Stephanie. Stephanie's joining us. Stephanie, where are you joining us from today? I know, but I'm going to let her type it anyway so people can connect with that awesome rock star who was also a guest with us just a couple of weeks ago. You might remember. Yes, Stephanie is from Ohio, and she is one of the leaders for GEG Ohio. So welcome, Stephanie. Awesome. Meredith said she's been struggling with time zones too. Darren, you're doing pretty good with the time zones though, right, Betty? You're on that.
Yeah, it's fine, isn't it? I'm on my own time zone. When you're in jail, time's just irrelevant, isn't it?
I like that. And that is a perfect segue to the very special episode that we have today, all about educational jail breakouts. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for today's session in the chat, and then everybody can join along with the links. Let's just get that link here, and we'll drop it in the YouTube chat. There you go, folks. So you can join along with Darren. And Darren, I am going to make your screen big, and please go ahead and shower us with jail breakouts.
Brilliant, thanks. Thanks for having me this evening, everyone. It's as I was saying to Georgina before, it's nice to travel. And I've never been to Jordan before, so I'm really looking forward to this evening. As you can see, my four walls are pretty dull, pretty boring, and I'm desperate to get out. And that's obviously a great link to this evening. One of my real passions in real life, when we're allowed outside, is escape rooms. I love the challenge of escape rooms. Myself and a few friends, some of whom you might have heard of, so Dean Stokes is one of them. We love to go to an escape room and try and crack it as quickly as we can. So when I started doing these, I started thinking about how I could employ that in the classroom, because it's great fun, but it's testing you all the time. So I looked at various different ways of doing it. I started off just using Google Forms, and now that's kind of advanced a little bit to a combination of sites and forms. So what I'm going to do this evening is show you one of the sites I've built and the forms that go with it, how I went about it. I'm going to share with you a video so that you can look back step by step and maybe build some for yourselves, because this is the way I tend, even when we're in school, I tend to use this as a way of doing an end of term assessment with my students, who turn round with the last week of term and say, "Sir, can we have a fun lesson?" And I say, "Yes, of course we can." I give them an escape room to do, and they don't know that I'm doing a test, because all of the questions would be relevant to the things that we learned during the course of the term. This one isn't. This one was just for lockdown, to kind of keep my staff occupied while we were off and quiet. So I'm going to take you through that. I'm going to share my screen and show you how I did it. Okay. So, there we go. Hopefully you can now see the Educators Assemble webpage. And this is just built on Google Sites. I'm just going to hide that out of the way. This is a one-page Google site, okay? Because I wanted to keep this as simple as possible. So it's just one page, and as you scroll down, There's various different aspects to it, which I'm going to talk you through, okay? It's just really a little bit of fun on my part, putting things together and then watching the students try and crack it. When they're in the classroom with me, what I tend to do is do it through Google Classroom with them. So if particular students are stuck, I'm able to give them additional help and send them additional clues without doing that to everyone, because obviously they can choose the students that I release things to. And sometimes I make them collaborate. It really depends on the students, the group, and what the focus of the escape room is. So this one, I don't know how I came up with it, but this one was basically, it was the year 2020, and the world's on lockdown due to a dangerous virus. Just some inspiration came from somewhere. And the people, the educators that are assembling, have been asked to help find the cure, which is in a secure location, but obviously they can't leave their home office. Okay, so the introduction is very simple. Can you solve all the clues left by the evil overlord Warden Eve to be able to hack the codes and allow the government to access? Only time will tell, but who knows how long you've got. So that's the introduction, okay? And as we all know with students, when you give them something to read, they very, very rarely read the instructions. So I wanted to get into this, a bit of a learning journey for them as well, to make it a point of the fact that reading the instructions is important. So there are clues to answers in this instruction bit. It doesn't just begin at stage one, because I want them to be aware that reading the instructions is really important, especially when it stops them emailing me saying, "Sir, where's the work?" during distance learning. So stage one, very, very simple. I use a third-party site called Geekprank, and I've put the link in your slide deck, Georgina, so people can use that if they need to. And you can just go in and basically create your own text message. And you can have it going backwards and forwards. You can have any phone, you can have an iPad template, you can do anything you like to create. You can have WhatsApp and all sorts of various things to force a conversation that's gone on, okay? And that's the first part of that. And as you can see here, the Avengers Escape Room has got 1, 2, 3, 4 different questions to answer. One is a 4-digit code, one is a text code, one's a numerical code, and one's a phrase code, and they're all required questions in the form. And all of the answers are in this section of the form before you get to stage 2. And they can't advance onto the next lot of questions until they've correctly answered all of these, okay? So this is what it looks like. Once they've correctly answered all of those, they can then go through to stage 2, and final stage to finally try and escape. So that's the front-facing side of things. What I'm going to do now is take you behind the scenes to the website and just show you exactly what it looks like. So it's a standard Google site, as I've said before. There is only one page. I did put a background in, but I chose not to use it in the end. So there's one page, which is the home page, and all I've done is inserted different images and inserted a Google form in there at various different stages. And I've just tried to be as creative as possible. The Google form itself is a very simple Google form that's made up in sections. So they have to correctly answer all of section 1 to be able to move on to section 2. And they have to correctly answer all of section 3 to be able to move on to the final stage and finally escape. Okay? And then that pops up on the website. Once they've completed section 1, section 2 becomes available. Okay? So, really simple, 4-digit code in the Avengers Escape Room. When I created the form, all I said was I wanted it to be a required question, and I used response validation to say that I want them to input a regular expression that matches 2020. And if they don't do that, then they get this error. Error, access denied as the message. And the reason is very simple, okay? The year is 2020. The first 4 words give them the first answer, and 90% of people that have tried the escape room find that one the hardest one to find. It's crazy, but it's true, okay? So that's the first question. The next one is a text code, okay? So a text code is letters, all right? And it's as simple as that. We're looking for particular letters. And the answer is in here, but it's not easy to find. So this is one where I quite often find myself giving the students a prompt if they ask for it, okay? So if we come back to the form, the text code, again, is set on response validation, but this time the regular expression needs to match my name. Okay, Darren White, and they get the access denied if they don't get it. And that's simply because everything has been created by this evil overlord, Warden Eth. Okay, and Warden Eth is an anagram of my name, and the clue that I tend to release to the students if they're stuck is very simply this: you will need to look high and low to work out the answer. So that tells them to look at the top of the website if they've got any sense, and also right down the bottom where they've got this information that says, you know, I'm the guy behind it all. So eventually they tend to work that out. So that's the second one. Then there's a numerical code, and I deliberately did this one because they start to look at numbers. So they start to look over here and they say, right, well, they've seen 2020 and they've used it. We've got 1139 there. We've got 1232 there. And there might be other numbers and things elsewhere, but the correct answer was the 1232, and they have to input that correctly. And then finally, for the part one, it's a phrase code, and that's back up here. Now, I don't know whether anyone can pick this up in the chat, but there is a clue to the phrase code here in this top section. So I just wonder whether anyone who's not already tried and cracked this, only 41 people have managed to escape from the room. And it's brilliant when you look at the results, because to actually escape, you have to get everything right. So the success rate actually looks brilliant in my spreadsheet because everyone's got full marks, because you have to escape. So I wonder if anyone can work out, okay? You will need to look very carefully. So the year is 2020 and the world is on lockdown. This is very much a visual answer.
I absolutely am so excited about this activity, Darren, and I'm just so excited I can't even think about the answer. But let's take a look at our chat and see if anybody wants to give a go. Good evening to Kathleen and Peter and Abid from the UK and a few others that joined. It's really nice to see everybody. So who would like to have a go at cracking Darren's breakout? Come on, guys. We got to give this man a run for his money. Let's help him get out of jail.
Let's go a little bit bigger for you. Let's wait. Here we go. See if you can work it out. Okay. What's the answer there? We're looking for a phrase code. So it's a sentence, and the answer's there in that section. Just going to give you a little bit of a chance to work it out, just so we can get interactive and I can have a drink. It's nothing to do with Karen, Steph. Definitely nothing to do with Karen. So it is a sentence. I'll give you a clue if you would like one. Okay? And I would say that fortune favours the bold, not the brave.
That is a good one. Come on, guys. Who's got it?
So these are the kind of clues that I would throw out there, because I just want the students to be thinking a little bit more creatively and developing those critical thinking skills and those problem solving skills, but also their resilience at the same time. Okay, it's not only time will tell 11:39. Not no, Karen. Okay, what I'm going to do is give you a hand here. We look really carefully. W in world is in bold. Fortune favours the bold. And if we follow it along, there's an E in bold there. A we. Then we've got a C, then we've got an A, then we've got an N, so we can. Then we've got a B, and an E and an A and a T, so beat. And then a T and an H and an I and an S. So we can beat this is the correct answer to get through to the next phase, okay? And obviously a subliminal message to the students as well there. So they would fill in all of those answers. So I'm just gonna go back to the main site and just fill those in. So the 4-digit code is 2020. Remember, if I do it wrong, it just basically says nothing, it won't accept it. Okay, the text code, that was my name. The numerical code was 1232, and the phrase code down here is we can beat this. And if I go next, it should take me through to the next stage. So now we've got phase 2, we've got a colour code, and we're being told that we've got to use uppercase letters, and an example is R is red, okay? Then we've got worded code, and finally a musical lock, okay? So we scroll down to stage 2. This is just in the second part of the form. It could be, the site. It could be a separate page if you wanted it to be, but it doesn't have to be. So what I've done here is I've just picked up an image off of Google as an image search. I've taken it into Google Drawings, and then I've just very slightly changed it and been a little bit obvious in some places and not so obvious in others. So if you have a look carefully, there we go, you might be able to pick out, who's screenshotting that, you might be able to pick out that there's a number 4 there on the green one, and there's a number 3 there, and there's 5 in total. This one's just about got a number 1 in it, you can see there. This one's got a number 2 in it, and this one doesn't have a number. So yes, you'd have to use capital letters. It would be B, R, P, G, okay? And you'd miss the orange altogether. So B, R, P, G would be the correct answer. Well done to those people who got it. You don't need the orange because there's no number in it, okay? It's a 4, number 1. Then we've got this one here, which is a picture of an iron, a battery, and some aluminium foil or aluminum foil, depending on where you're from, okay? But it's definitely not tin foil, all right? And that's the clue I tend to give people, it's not tin foil. So it's just here, and all it says is, this is weird, what have these got to do with anything? But they do give you an answer. Then we scroll down, and we've got a periodic table of elements here that seems to be doing nothing at all. And then there's a YouTube video, okay? Now, when we look at the picture, the question, the musical lock, you found a clue that says before the bass line, and you've got 3 options. Now, because I'm sharing my whole screen, the sound may not play particularly well on the song, but I'm going to give it a go. So there's the bass line. So our correct answers up here, the colour code we worked out was, what was it? Blue, red, purple, green. Worded code we're not sure of. Has anyone got any answers? Which of the 3, is it 3, 4 or 5 for the musical code lock? Let's see if anyone can get it. Remember it said before the bass line.
Oh, this is so much fun, Darren. We are super excited. I was having a blast dancing along.
You might have noticed the tenuous link to the song as well.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's see if our viewers can crack it. Tamina says, is it Spark?
It's not Spark.
Oh, good guess, Tamina. Who else? Who else has got an idea?
So it's the song itself is Rhythm of the Night by Corona, because obviously I was feeling quite Corona at the time. But you remember it's before the bass line, and the answer's 3, 4 or 5. And that's the only clue I'll give them.
They're busy thinking, Darren. We might need to give them another minute or 2.
5 for the music one, says Rooks Forever. It's not 5, I'll give you that. It's not 5.
Oh, we're so close.
Oh, we're close. We're getting there with the Meredith's getting there with the picture code. E and the AL. So the music answer, before the bass line, the word rhythm is said 4 times. So the correct answer there would be 4. Okay, for those people that didn't get it, I love it. Okay, and then the worded code, and who was it? Meredith's quite close on that one. So we've got an iron, we've got aluminum or aluminium, and we've got a battery. So iron, if we use the periodic table of elements that just happens to be here, then obviously iron is Fe, capital F, lowercase e. Aluminium or aluminum is Al, capital A, lowercase l. And then the one in the middle is a lithium battery. So Li in the middle there. So to get through this stage, they would have to answer exactly Fl, Li, Al, okay? And if they type it differently, it doesn't work. And that gets us through to the final stage. We're almost there. There's one more door that needs disarming. We've got an electrical word lock, and a day lock. Now this might seem like quite a short form, but actually I shared this with staff and I was still getting messages at 3 o'clock in the morning from some people who were desperate to crack it before they went to bed. Okay, so it is harder than it looks without the clues straight away. So the electric word lock and then a day lock. This bit's a little bit easier. So down to the bottom, here we go. Final stage, electric word lock. So we're looking for a word in here that's 5 letters to do with electrics. And then we've got a day lock and we've got a picture of the cure. So that one's really easy if you're from that era.
I was just going to ask Darren, while everybody's having to think about that, have you experienced that any students have struggled if they weren't from that era, or do you feel that students get on with it pretty quickly?
They do get on with it pretty quickly because
Yeah.
I give them a choice, and I do let them use Google.
Oh.
Most questions are hard to just Google a straight answer. So, for example, they would have to Google the cure. They might get that, and then they might have to go through their whole track list to find a mention of a day. So it's not as simple as just, finding an answer.
But I really love that. I love that you give them the access to their full toolkit in order to support them with the learning process. And I love the fact that they're building, those research skills and that data retrieval skills while they're, playing this amazingly gamified version of learning. I love it, Darren. Thank you so much.
Just to clarify as well, the lithium was written on the battery, which is what gave it away. And obviously, the students have the opportunity to zoom in and out as much as they need to. Screenshot if they need to. They could even screenshot and do a Google image search if they needed to. So it develops all of those skills at the same time.
I love it.
Anyone got the day? And
Meredith is a bit sad she missed the lithium. Meredith, you're not alone. I missed everything since the first round, okay? I'm having a proper Karen moment here, guys.
So anyway, final stage, electrical lock, 5 letters, word, and obviously you've got things like electron in there, which is obviously too many letters and things like that. But what we're actually looking for is this one here, Earth.
Oh.
And what I wanted there was for people to remember that Earth is an electrical term and not just a planet, because of the Earth in a plug and everything else. Okay, so I tried to go a little bit cross-curricular with this one. So Earth would be this one, the electrical word lock. I think actually it had to be in capitals because it was written in capitals in the picture. And then the day lock, if anybody's a big Cure fan, which I'm not, I have to say, they'll know that one of the Cure's most famous songs was "It's Friday, I'm in Love." So Friday, there we go. And if we get the message, it just says, congratulations, you've done it. Now, what I do with my students sometimes is when they get to this stage, that then generates using Autocrat a certificate or an electronic badge for them that they can then kind of get in their emails to say, yeah, they managed to escape, and they can save that. But that's how we do it. So it's all through Google Forms with that response validation. And then at the end of each section, just going to the next section, provided you've managed to answer everything and not being able to move on unless you have done so. So it won't accept a wrong answer. And as you can see, we've got then the summary of everybody getting it right. It's fantastic. 42 people have managed to escape since, let's just have a quick look. When was the first one? The 7th of April is when I built that. So the 7th of April, only 42 people, and I've put this out all across the world, have managed to escape it. So it's really good fun. Like I say, you can make it subject related. Some of my colleagues have gone off and made their own subject related ones and things like that. So they've done maths ones. The beauty of that is if you've got things like Equatio running as an extension, you can use that in Google Forms to actually use the subscripts and the superscripts and everything else. So it just ties in together really nicely and enables students to develop those digital skills and their resilience at the same time. Okay?
This is absolutely brilliant, Darren. I have to say, I am definitely going to have to practice a lot of these to stay on par with you and your lessons. That's for sure. Wow. So just taking a look at the chat, you had everybody on their toes. People were super resilient, our viewers. So thank you very much. Good evening to Ahmed, who's also joining from GEGMN tonight. And yeah, I'm not sure. What do you think? Do you think we had anybody crack the whole thing? I guess it was more of a team effort tonight, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, I'll put in the chat a link to the kind of explainer video that people can then go back through and watch it in more detail if they want to. I'll just find that on my channel and I'll share that with you.
Yeah, that is so awesome. So we have about 5 minutes left. If anybody has any questions for Darren in the chat, either about things that have worked well or any difficulties possibly in the classroom, any challenges with this kind of gamification of learning, please drop them in the chat. Good evening, William, joining also from Ohio. And also, if you have any questions about anything related to the Google Form tool that he used to set that up or any of the other sites. Also, Darren wanted to ask you if you wanted to shout out the teams that you're joining us from today or anybody in particular. Please feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously I'm part of GG UK, so working particularly with Abid and Wendy Peskett and Ben Moore. I know Abid's on the call this evening. And then also part of Global GG, which is a fantastic family to be a part of. There's some great people in there. And some of them are really nice and most of them are respectful. But not all of them understand my accent or the words I use all of the time. So it's quite good fun, okay? So shout out to them. Shout out to Ben as well, who's my co-host on Short and Sweet that we run every Thursday night. And a quick plug if I can, if that's all right.
Yes, please do. As many resources as you can. Guys, I'm going to shout out Darren while he's pulling up those links. Darren does a brilliant short and sweet episode. Is it weekly, Darren, or bi-weekly?
Weekly.
It's weekly with his awesome co-host, Ben, who is officially Google's youngest trainer and super spot on, intelligent, super skilled, and super funny. So you need to go check out their show. You need to drop the link if you can, Darren, for your YouTube channel so people can follow. And big shout out to GEG, Global GEG, because they definitely are also helping bring all of the GEGs together to bring the YouTube chat on tonight's agenda. Is Darren's information in number 1, so you can follow him on Twitter there. Please do so. The guy's full of brilliant resources and quite funny man as well. Digital Breakout, so the link to his presentation is also in there. I've popped on a few other resources that you can take a look at down in number 2, which is a Chrome Capture extension and Capwing as well. So take a look at those if you have time. And then if you have anybody on the call who you think would benefit from joining GEGMN to share and spread the love of Grow with Google, then please go ahead and feel free to share the GEGMN logos embedded with the Google form, and you're welcome to share out our Tip Tuesday presentation as well. So Darren, please go ahead if you have any other shares for your book creator.
I've already put the book creator link in there. That's that bit.ly/Ranganation. There's 4 books in there now. They're all free. So feel free to take them, share them, use them with colleagues, and if you really like them, buy me a coffee. There's a link in there to buy me a coffee. So.
Can we actually buy you a coffee abroad, Darren?
Yeah. I can't go and buy it in a minute, but...
All right, guys, let's go get this man some coffee then. I love it. That's brilliant. Okay, Tamina says she's got 2 of Darren's books. Oh, that's right, because Darren, I think I spread your book creator love with my staff at school, so that totally makes sense. So you're going to be famous worldwide in no time, my friend.
Brilliant.
Okay, so it doesn't look like there's any questions from anybody on the chat. But please do make sure that you drop your Twitter handle in the YouTube chat if you would like any of the viewers to follow you. And as I said before, Darren's Twitter handle is in today's agenda, so it's right there if you'd like to follow him. And of course, you can join all of these amazing educators at Global GEG. So there's the Twitter handle for that. And for GEG Amman, it will be Amman GEG backwards because the first one was taken. So you're welcome to follow us on those as well. So Darren, we would like to thank you very dearly for taking your time today out of busy distance learning days to join us on GEG Amman to share your brilliant creativity and innovation. I'm really grateful for your time today.
You are very welcome. It's been a pleasure.
And we hope to have you back soon and definitely connect and collaborate again together. So thank you to all of our viewers for joining today. We'd like you to, stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you once again for everything you're doing in education to make the world a better place. We wouldn't be here without all of the amazing and inspiring teachers in the world. So thank you to everybody and wishing you all a pleasant evening. Stay tuned for Google Meet check-in on Sunday and Tip Tuesday the following week. Just a reminder to everybody that next week is the Eid holidays, so we are taking a break from our regularly scheduled check-in and Tip Tuesday next week so that everybody in GEG Amman and others celebrating around the world can enjoy a relaxing holiday. So happy holidays to all those who are celebrating, and we will see you again on the 31st of May for the next round for our webinar end of month at 6:30 p.m. So take care, guys, and thanks again, Darren, for joining.
You're welcome. Take care, everyone.
Okay, bye.